Okay guys, if you see this Kennedy Space Center Visitors Complex, this is where you want to turn in at, right here. And your sign right here. Now, this is pretty incredible right here. Wow, it's worth the whole trip just to see this thing setting up. They didn't have this for a good while. The rocket boosters. Wow, awesome. Got all these other rockets over here. Let's see where we're going to park at. We're in section 5. And we'll get as close as we can. Ticket booth again. A water splash thing. And you get to see astronauts here too. Nice picture here of the NASA. I think this is very nice tribute to John F. Kennedy. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon, and to the planets beyond. We have vowed that we shall not see it governed by a hostile flag or conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace. John F. Kennedy. Nice memorial. All the different rockets here. This got a space capsule at the top of this one. Okay. Some nice rockets right here. You got a capsule up here at the top. And pretty big rockets right here. And we'll check them out. Heroes and Legends Astronaut Hall of Fame. Here on this wall. This is one huge rocket right here. And the capsule up here at the top. And this red structure above the capsule, that's a rocket too, in case there was a problem with the lower part of the rocket itself. They could ignite this red rocket on top of the capsule up here. They could ignite that one, and it would take the capsule away from the rocket, kind of like a fighter pilot ejecting from a aircraft going down. It would take the capsule away to keep it from being destroyed with the rest of the rocket. So that's a pretty neat idea. And over here we got, let's see, right there, got a capsule there. This is a huge rocket too. I've studied about everything I can on NASA in the past, and it's just always been fascinating to me, these giant rockets, and especially this one laying horizontal to the ground is really incredible. So they got an IMAX, and that starts at 10 o'clock in a few minutes. So I think I'm going to try to check that out. Get that early. One thing I would mention about these rockets, every inch of this rocket, these different rockets, every inch of them, every ounce of them, the different types of fuel they use and all of that, is made specifically for a reason. Nothing is given by chance. Even the fins on these rockets and stuff like that are aerodynamically designed according to the height, the weight, and everything of these rockets to stabilize them in flight, to keep them from the bottom end going back and forth and just having catastrophic failure. So much engineering work goes into these. And journey through space, 3D. This is where you want to go. See that? I mean, it's about like being on a launch pad when this thing takes off. This looks like it was put together with Legos. The Orion space capsule, that's pretty large. I think it holds 6. They'll probably only have 4 in it. Supposed to use it on the mission. Now here's the space capsule. These things were not big as a tin can almost. Imagine being in one of these things for a period of time, like being in a coffin. You can't be claustrophobic. I think everything, what I've seen is with NASA, everything was made for people about 5'5" or less and about 140 pounds. It's just something for kids to get a feeling of what it's like.
The guy who wrote this, he was on all these different missions. Gemini space. Those 2 people stuck like that, they can't even, how'd they go to the bathroom?
Gemini 7, Apollo 10.
The placard here on this huge rocket, the Saturn 1B rocket. And this is the monster right here. It's just of course, this is where they haven't known where the rocket's at. This right here was like a probe type rocket, check for radiation in space, and this right here was a rocket that they used for kind of like communication. They wanted something like probes and things like that to get information with satellites, and it's a new era. And 2 astronauts spent 14 days alone in this capsule at the top. That's a long time. And then we have the shuttle rocket here with the solid fuel. That thing is incredibly big. Saturn 1B. Takes about 7 redstones to be equivalent to this size. They were preparing to go to the moon with a monster like this one. Okay, the Juno 2 type rocket here. You read this plaque right here. Post for launch right there. 76.7 feet tall, diameter 105 inches. Learning to phone home. The communication rocket here. Pioneer 4. This is a really big rocket. Interesting. This is a global television arrives. You see that design right there. Communication Telstar 1. And this is a really big rocket too, girth wise. It's got that funny end that looks like a Q-tip at the top. Past the gate, it's kind of a little panoramic view right here. Astronaut training experience. Bus tours take you to landing pads and stuff like that, and takeoff pads rather, where a lot of the missions began. And that's our solid fuel rockets for the shuttle. And that's Orion capsule in the middle here. They were just working on that when I was here last time, about 7 years ago. And there's a real great history about these rockets here. They called a rocket garden. Long ways back to get a whole rocket in the view here. Inside there is also the Atlantis shuttle. They got it hanging from the ceiling in a beautiful way, and this is really awesome. They got a simulator of what it feels like to be on the shuttle. Really awesome. And this big stone right here has the constellations on it, and it also weighs 10,000 plus pounds, and it's got about 250 gallons of water with a little bit of chlorine. And is moving. You can put your hands on it, and you can push it right or left or up or down. That water acts like kind of like a ball bearing in grease, I guess. Now you can change the direction of this by pushing it. £10,000 ball. Let's show you what water can do. Okay, this is what we've been waiting for here. This is Atlantis. They had a show right before it, and you can see these tiles. Oh, dang it there. Oh, it creamed. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Yeah, this is really worth the whole trip just to get this close to Atlantis.
They're down there drinking all my coffee.
Yeah, this thing is really big. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was. Last time I saw it was in a hangar at a distance, and it looked like a Cessna. It's got this arm, cameras on it coming out right here. Inside view, over 2,000 switches and buttons, and this is just one side of the cockpit. And you got the heads-up display here. Joystick. You got all kind of buttons over here too. And here's the back side of that one half. All these switches. These switches have protectors on them, so you can't accidentally hit them unless you put your finger in between these connectors here. A good idea.
Yes. Next one down, Zip? Yeah.
Great job. Maybe working for NASA to be in your future.
Cool.
And of course, this is the Hubble. In space, you can see a lot better than you can from the Earth because of UV and other things and pollutions. Like this is like a life-size replica of the original Hubble. This thing is really huge too. NASA. It still sends back information. It sheds a lot of light on the universe. Now this is really nice right here. Thing is really huge. Gives you an idea how big the Atlantis is compared to these solid fuel boosters that we saw outside. It is really huge.
Here's the thing. So, it's made out of refined silica. It's like sage from the beach. It's like 100%.
This is another view of the Atlantis from
When you roll this thing out,
downstairs.
so these things were
Here we go to that redstone.
We'll start the free tour at 10.
And that's pretty much the rocket we saw hanging up there inside. Beautiful sky there. It's a real pretty picture right there. And these others all have a history behind them. So these are not just random rockets that are set out here, especially the one horizontal. That's one of the biggest rockets ever made. And we're going to see the Saturn V rocket. That's even bigger, so it's pretty huge. We see our engines here. Get an idea of the length right here a little bit. They say when these things lifted off, they shook the whole state of Florida. And this was just a huge, huge rocket. Okay, this is the third stage right here. You got one main engine here. And then you have the fourth part over here. And looking back, and this thing is so big it's hard to cover the whole thing. eat with this camera. So that's your main stage there. Going to your secondary stage, the third stage, fourth. And you have a restaurant here, Moon Rock Restaurant. Well, one thing you can say, you don't generally get to eat in a restaurant and be able to look at the beauty of Saturn V. Okay, there's the space capsule, the Justin rocket in case you need it. One stage, two stage, three stage. Let's see from this angle a little better here. See how huge this thing is. And a lunar module here. You see a lunar module here. Lunar Space Sample 1971. A little bit larger than the last one we saw. Really amazing. Something from the moon. A different view of that. And this is one of the most interesting parts too. The moon rock collected by astronaut John Skimmett. Apollo 17 lunar module landing site. And you have it here. And you've got these mouse holes here. You can reach in and put your finger on the moon rock. Something that actually came from the moon. Of course, it's glued down there, so you're not going to steal it. So. But that's really incredible. At the very top of it. They say sometimes it rains at the top.
And securing our success with every welcome.
The launches here, pads,
This is not
about 20 feet above the ground.
This is not about flags and footprints. This is about sustainable science and feeding forward the advance of the human spirit. Because we are the pioneers, the star sailors, the thinkers, the visionaries, the doers. Because we stand on the shoulders of giants to go farther than humanity
They can put
has ever been.
tallest rockets inside
Add
here.
our names to the rolls of the greatest adventurers in history. Every day, every mission, we advance this goal.
That flag is about 21 stories tall, I think he said.
Years, we're just getting started.